Through YouTube recommendations, I came across a video titled "How 5 Days on Mount Sinai Made Me an Atheist Again" on the YouTube channel Heliocentric. The speaker, a professed atheist, recounts his trip to Egypt and his visit to St. Catherine's Monastery, explaining how the experience reconfirmed his atheism. I just want to clarify a few things he seems to have gotten wrong, and if I'm mistaken as well, please correct me. The speaker, Jared, mentions a dispute involving the Patriarch of Jerusalem and a new bishop, but the reality is more nuanced. St. Catherine's Monastery belongs to the autonomous Sinai Church tradition within the wider Eastern Orthodox Church. Its head is the abbot of the monastery, who also holds the title Archbishop of Sinai, Faran, and Raito. Although traditionally the Greek Orthodox Patriarchate of Jerusalem consecrates the Archbishop of Sinai, the monastery has long protected its independence. Any sequestering of monks to Athens likely refers to internal administrative, legal, or political tensions, something not unusual in institutions of such age and complexity, rather than the dramatic cosmic rug pull framing presented in the video. So what Jared portrays as evidence of religious absurdity may simply reflect the complicated reality of centuries-old monastic governance, regional politics, questions of identity and nationality, Greek, Egyptian, Arab, and broader Orthodox interests, and ecclesiastical protocol. Jared seems shocked that his Coptic friend was not allowed to take part in certain prayers, but this reaction overlooks an important historical and theological context. The Eastern Orthodox Church and the Coptic Orthodox Church have been separated since the Council of Chalcedon, mainly over disagreements concerning the nature of Christ. Of course, there is genuine respect between the two traditions today, but they are still not in full communion. Because of that, many stricter monasteries limit participation in certain liturgical services. This can include prayers or rites closely connected to the sacramental life of the Church. From the outside, this may seem unwelcoming or harsh, but from the perspective of an Orthodox monk, it is usually not meant as a personal insult or an act of hostility. Rather, it is seen as preserving the integrity of worship, the Eucharist, and communal prayer according to long-standing canon law and church discipline. Another claim Jared makes is that scholars are confident the flight into Egypt, described in the Gospel of Matthew, never happened, calling it a theological invention. From the perspective of the Eastern Orthodox Church, the flight into Egypt is both a historical and liturgical reality. It is commemorated in the Church's calendar and many places throughout Egypt, such as El Muharraq Monastery, are deeply venerated because tradition holds that the Holy Family stayed or rested there during their journey. These places are seen not merely as legends, but as sanctified by the presence of Christ. Scholarly opinion is also more nuanced than the speaker suggests. Some secular historical critics question the account because it appears only in Matthew, but others argue that the narrative fits the political and historical realities of the period, especially under the rule of Herod the Great. Debate exists, but there is no universal scholarly certainty that the event never happened. For Orthodox Christians, Scripture is read together with Holy Tradition. That means the memory of the flight into Egypt is preserved not only through the biblical text, but also through centuries of worship, pilgrimage, and local Christian witness. The core of the speaker's argument seems to be that because his trip fell apart, divine providence must not exist. But that assumes a view of providence that the Eastern Orthodox Church itself does not teach. In Orthodox thought, providence is not a kind of magic guarantee that travel plans will run smoothly, doors will always open, or that a visitor will receive a memorable spiritual experience on demand. God's guidance is not measured by convenience, comfort, or whether someone gets to see rare manuscripts and hidden treasures. The Orthodox understanding of pilgrimage is often the opposite of modern expectations. A pilgrimage that is difficult, disappointing, exhausting, or seemingly unsuccessful can be spiritually more valuable than one that goes perfectly. Hardship is often seen as an opportunity for spiritual discipline, patience, humility, and the struggle against self-will. From that perspective, what Jared interprets as a cosmic rug pull might instead be understood by a monk as a lesson in humility. If someone arrives expecting a special experience because of personal connections, status, or plans, the frustration itself may become the real pilgrimage. In Orthodox spirituality, the breaking of ego can matter more than the fulfillment of expectations. Based on Jared's wider body of work on his YouTube channel, he appears to be someone deeply shaped by religion, who left faith intellectually but still remains emotionally and culturally engaged with it. By his own descriptions, he was raised in a devout Christian environment, studied theology, and continues to visit religious spaces with a mixture of curiosity and criticism. Jared is clearly intelligent, thoughtful, and sincere, and he often approaches religious people with openness and respect. For that he deserves credit. Yet sincerity alone does not always guarantee understanding, especially when approaching traditions as ancient and complex as St. Catherine's Monastery or the wider Eastern Orthodox Church. So his video is not a decisive argument against Christianity, nor a great exposure of religious absurdity. It is his interpretation of a difficult journey through the lens of his own prior commitments and personal story. We all do that, believers and non-believers alike. I hope he continues searching honestly, asking hard questions, and encountering people of goodwill along the way. And above all, I sincerely hope that he finds the way back home.